The shocking love story between Russian beauty queen Oksana Voevodina and Sultan Muhammad V of Malaysia once captured headlines around the globe. The monarch gave up his royal throne for her, a sacrifice that stunned his nation. Yet not long afterward, he sent her away from the palace, even while she was carrying his child. What destroyed her fairy tale? Was it another woman fighting fiercely for the same man? And why has the former king been hiding private meetings with the son he long refused to acknowledge? Stay with us until the very end, because this tale of royal romance and betrayal is filled with secrets and palace intrigue you've likely never heard before. Let's dive in. Sultan Muhammad of Kelantan belongs to one of Malaysia's 9 royal families, whose rulers take turns ascending the throne as king. He rose to the crown in December 2016 and was expected to serve a full 5-year reign. Yet just 2 years later, he shocked his people by becoming the first monarch in Malaysia's history to abdicate. The Kelantan royal household never gave an official reason for this stunning decision. They have always been known for guarding their privacy, unlike other Malaysian royals who allow their lives to play out more publicly. Still, some details about Muhammad's past relationships were known. Roughly 2 decades earlier, he had married a distant relative, Thai Princess Zubaida. That union lasted only 4 years, cut short by the princess's inability to provide him with children. For the next decade, there was no public knowledge of any romantic entanglements. He gained the reputation of being the nation's first bachelor sultan to be crowned king. Then, out of nowhere, in 2018, international media erupted with reports of his unexpected marriage. The news left Malaysia in shock. At age 49, the king had secretly wed 26-year-old Russian model Oksana Voevodina. Those who knew her personally described her as intelligent, graceful, and independent, a woman who had carved her own path. But critics painted a different picture. Some labeled her an opportunist, others even accused her of being a Russian spy who had ensnared the monarch. Oksana's journey to this unlikely destiny began in modest surroundings. Born in the Russian provinces, she eventually moved to Moscow, earned a degree from a prestigious financial university, and in 2015 was crowned Miss Moscow in a beauty pageant. That victory opened the door to modeling offers, endorsement deals for clothing and cosmetics, and the promise of a glamorous career. What she could not have foreseen was that her life would soon resemble a dramatic thriller. In 2017, at just 25 years old, Oksana accepted a modeling contract in Malaysia. She was hired to appear at an exhibition of luxury timepieces, where fate introduced her to a man who seemed particularly interested in the most exclusive designs. He introduced himself as King Muhammad V of Malaysia. Oksana, quick-witted, replied playfully that she too was a queen, though only a beauty queen. That moment sparked a whirlwind romance between the Russian model and the ruler, who was nearly twice her age. The two began dining at Kuala Lumpur's finest restaurants and enjoying time together away from the public eye. The king eventually expressed his love and asked for her hand in marriage. Oksana accepted. Muhammad, however, was determined to avoid publicity. He insisted on a quiet wedding. They held a private Muslim ceremony where Oksana converted to Islam, taking the new name Riana Petra. Even afterward, he continued to shield her from public view. In the palace, she was hidden from nearly everyone, including the servants. At first, the king explained the secrecy by claiming no woman should enter his household before marriage. Yet, even after their vows, the concealment continued. Later, it would become clear that this secrecy had less to do with tradition and everything to do with another woman in his life. When Oksana became pregnant, she insisted on having a more formal wedding celebration. The couple agreed to host a grand event in Moscow, attended by nearly 200 guests, including dignitaries from Malaysia. Yet Muhammad again urged discretion, claiming he was officially in Germany receiving medical treatment. Despite his efforts, secrecy did not last. A Malaysian guest posted footage from the ceremony on social media, and the entire world learned of the union. The guest later issued a written apology, but the damage had been done. For opposition politicians in Malaysia, this was the perfect scandal. They accused the king of straying from Muslim values of modesty and abstinence. Soon, more attacks emerged, this time aimed directly at Oksana. Critics condemned her past modeling work as inappropriate, describing it as vulgar. Rumors swirled that she had led a reckless personal life before her marriage. Some even claimed she was a covert agent sent by Russian intelligence to infiltrate the royal family. The most devastating blow came when Oksana discovered that Muhammad already had another wife, a woman named Noor Diana Petra. Though the king reassured Oksana that his relationship with Diana had ended long before, the truth was far more complicated. Diana, a Czech-born woman in her 30s, had been married to Muhammad for 8 years, though she had been unable to provide him with an heir. Despite that, Diana had secured considerable influence within the palace. Naturally, Diana viewed Oksana as an intruder. Reports suggest she actively collected damaging material on her rival, including a scandalous video clip from Oksana's time on the reality show Vacation in Mexico. When Muhammad saw this footage, he reportedly flew into a rage. Concerned that such a past would disgrace the royal family, he turned his back on Oksana. Heartbroken and pregnant, she returned to Russia. She and the king never saw each other again. The fallout in Malaysia was immediate and severe. The controversy ignited outrage among the aristocracy, who pressured Muhammad relentlessly. By early 2019, the pressure became unbearable, and he abdicated the throne, ending his reign 2 years early. Back in Russia, Oksana remained silent with the press, still hoping her marriage could be saved. She soon gave birth to a healthy baby boy, whom she named Ismail Leon. Proud of her child, she announced on Instagram that she had given birth to the future king of Malaysia. Instead of joy, this proclamation further enraged Muhammad. He divorced her under the Islamic talaq procedure and refused to acknowledge Leon as his son. Eventually, Oksana broke her silence in an exclusive interview, detailing her life inside the palace, the intrigues she faced, and her tumultuous relationship with the king. She explained her decision to speak out by revealing that after her child's birth, she received threats from Diana. Even more shockingly, Muhammad himself allegedly offered her $1 million to remain silent about their relationship. She refused, fearing that if her son were taken from her, the signed agreement would strip her of any right to protest. Seeking safety and justice, Oksana left Moscow and settled in London, where she launched a lawsuit against her ex-husband. She demanded that Muhammad provide her with an $11 million London mansion and monthly alimony of $33,000 for their son. British newspapers later reported that she failed to secure the property, but that Muhammad did establish a $250,000 trust fund for Leon and agreed to pay Oksana $10,000 a month for his care. Over time, Muhammad began to thaw. He was spotted in London, leaving a luxury hotel alongside Diana. Moments later, young Leon was seen exiting through the same doors, escorted by the Sultan's aides and a nanny. The site strongly suggested that Muhammad had finally accepted his paternity, and with it, Leon's theoretical right to the title of Crown Prince. Following this encounter, Oksana stopped posting photos of her son online, a move many believe was part of an agreement with the Sultan. Meanwhile, Oksana built a new life for herself. She found success as an investment consultant at a prominent London real estate firm. In her spare time, she has been working on a book, widely believed to be a memoir, that will reveal the untold story of her passionate and turbulent relationship with Muhammad. As for the former king, after losing his position as Malaysia's monarch, Muhammad returned to Kelantan, where he continues to serve as Sultan. In August 2022, he finally introduced Diana publicly to his people and bestowed